Before this video starts, I just want to give a massive shout out to all my channel members. If you want to receive a shout out, then become a channel member today and you'll be shown on screen like all these other channel members here. Anyways, enjoy the video. On March 24th, version 14.3 dropped in the Japanese version and dropped on April 17th for the international versions. This update contains a lot of content, and I want to talk about everything that was added into this version. Since we have loads to cover, all I ask is if you enjoyed this update analysis, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment on what was the most exciting thing about this update was for you. Anyways, let's get to the new content. All units discussed here will use their level 30 stats. The first unit added is Death's Daughter Lunacia, the Epic Fest variant of Salvation's Daughter Lunacia. She has 110,000 HP, deals an effective 30,600 damage with her explosion, has a standing range of 350 with an Omni Strike of negative 100 to 450, 4 knockbacks, a cost of 3,750, and a cooldown of 104.53 seconds. She is also strong against Floating, Traitless, Angel, and Aku, as well as being able to weaken them for 3 seconds or 3.6 seconds with treasures. She also has Counter Surge, a 20% chance to pierce shields, and immunities to Freeze, Slow, Curse, Toxic, and Explosions. When compared to her Uberfest counterpart, this Luna is a much more defensive version of the unit, trading offensive mobility with defensive walling. All 4 of her targets have a wide range of aggressive enemies, so putting a damper on their offensive power is great. Her shield pierce chance isn't the best at 20%, meaning she'll need support to pierce shields. However, her chance to shield pierce is mostly meant to be supplemented with her counter surge. Seeing as Aku stages have a ton of surge spam, they can allow Luna to constantly fire off counter surges to extend her weaken uptime and give her more chances to pierce shields. Her immunities also allow her to be used against a wide range of enemies such as Henry, Crockley, be used in mixed relic stages, Gobbles, and even Awaken Bahamut as an example. Overall, she's quite the powerful unit whose defensive capabilities make her a worthwhile addition to the Epic Fest roster. Remember last year with the Outcats campaign? Well, both the Taiwanese and Korean versions ran this campaign later on in the year. While the Taiwanese voted for Trash Cat, the Korean version voted for Stealth Cat. Now what does Stealth Cat do exactly? Well, they have a rather low health stat of only 7,600 and only deal 3,400 damage. They're a single target with a range of 160, 15 speed, and a cooldown of 27.87 seconds. In their first form, they knock back and slow red enemies, and in their second form, they target aliens. The slow lasts for 4 seconds or 4.8 seconds with treasures. They also have immunities to knockback, freeze, slow, weaken, and warp. They also share an extremely long backswing with units like Green Shell and Egg Pod. Unfortunately, unlike Trash Cat, this unit has almost no usage at all. This unit's poor range barely lets it be usable against a very few select enemies, specifically the red and alien variants of One Horn and Boar. Outside these and a couple of other enemies, however, this unit's stats are way too low to actually get their slow and knockback in. This unit attempts to be a red alien Macho Crystal, but it lacks the health or damage mitigation it has. Having an almost 30-second cooldown does it no favors, and their slow time is way too low for a unit that attacks once in a blue moon. This update sees a brand new collab, and along with it comes 10 brand new units. This being a collab with Baki Hanma, Son of Ogre. What better unit to start off with than Baki Hanma himself? Baki Hanma has a wide range of tools in his kit. He has 44,000 health, and while his damage per hit is low, only dealing 13,800 damage, his rapid attacks give him a solid 6,500 DPS. He also has a 450 standing range and 3 knockbacks with a cooldown of 77.87 seconds. Baki also has a 75% chance to knock back Akus, a 5% chance to crit, Zombie Killer, 30% chance to pierce shields, and both slow and explosion immunity. Baki is a jack of all trades generalist unit with an Aku specialty. His generalist usage is on par with the Beast Hammer twins of Urun and Urs. While his damage per hit is lower, his DPS is on a very similar level with the both of them. In most stages where they work, Baki will work too. Baki's fast cooldown of 77 seconds means you can easily get multiple Bakis out at once. Their crit chance is just bonus burst damage, but their Zombie Killer allows them to be used generally in zombie or mixed stages in the event he lands the final blow against zombies. His Aku specialty is a mixed bag. While his fast attack rate gives him a great chance at shield piercing, even with the 30% chance to do so, and the knockback chance allows him to constantly regain ground from Akus, the lack of surge immunity does leave him very susceptible to death surge spam. While his explosion immunity doesn't have a lot of applications right now, his slow immunity makes him a viable option for debut, as he has enough health to tank a hit and get back to chipping him down. The Z kill also ensures he can get the kill. While their Aku specialty is a mixed bag, their generalist usage is pretty solid, allowing them to be on a similar level as Urun and Urs, with their fast cooldown allowing him to be stacked easily. Then we have Kyo Retsu, who is strong against Red and Alien with the 50% chance to freeze them for 3 seconds or 3.6 seconds post treasures. He also has a 10% chance to Savage Blow, is immune to waves, and is the first natural born Behemoth Slayer in the game. He has 470 range, 4 knockbacks, and a cooldown of 137.87 seconds. Retsu has 40,800 health and deals 20,400 damage. Against Red and Aliens, he has 102,000 health and deals 36,700 damage. Against General Behemoths, he has 68,000 health and deals 51,000 damage. Lastly, for Red and Alien Behemoths, he has 170,000 health and deals 91,800 damage. Retsu's kit may seem all over the place at first, but when focused on, you can see a rather solid anti-red alien Uber who is capable of doing a wide range of things and being good at them. Retsu's regular red and alien targeting isn't the strongest compared to most, but their freeze gives him an edge over most Ubers that target these traits. His real appeal, however, is that he's a very accessible Behemoth Slayer. Enemies like Akurujo and Scissorex are massive walls that gatekeep the wider range of Behemoth content, so early game players that get him will have a much easier time dealing with them. Wave immunity is also great for things like Berserkori and Yukan, and can even allow him to be used against Rajakan, and especially DNL. While in the late game, his Behemoth slaying capabilities may not seem impressive, other Behemoth Slayer options like him are locked behind expensive Behemoth Stone costs, Ultra Talents, or are at the very end of Uncanny Legends. Being an accessible Behemoth Slayer, on top of having an extremely relevant targets throughout the early and mid game, allow Retsu to have a lot of viability in a wide range of situations. Then we have Karu Hanayama, who has both resist and massive damage against Akus, on top of 100% shield piercing and immunities to knockback, freeze, slow, weaken, warp, curse, and toxic. He has a base health stat of 144,000 and deals a gargantuan 136,000 damage. He has 350 range and 1 knockback. Against Aku, he has an effective 578,000 health and deals an effective 408,000 damage. Hanayama is capable of nuking most Aku enemies in 1 to 2 hits, and his gargantuan health stat allows him to sponge a massive amount of damage. His immunities also allow him to land hits without the risk of interruption. However, with stats like these, there is one thing that must be kept in mind when using him. He has a rather long force swing of 3.93 seconds. This means that if you want to maximize his damage potential, you need to lure enemies within his range. While this is no problem for Aku heavy stages, as he can just sponge their hits, in mixed stages it can be a little bit trickier doing this. If you're able to play the balancing game of luring enemies to him while keeping him alive, then he'll be able to deal absurd amounts of damage. While normally I don't bring up level 50 stats, it should be noted that at this level, his damage output is even capable of one-shotting 200% Midnight D and can two-shot Rangmaster, Empress, and Southern Common. Hanayama is a medium risk, very high reward unit, capable of nuking almost every Aku enemy in the game, and can still supply solid damage to any non-Aku enemy that gets caught in the mix of his devastating punch. Up next is Katsumi Orochi, who deals massive damage against red and alien enemies and will always break barriers. Katsumi has 37,400 health and deals 28,000 damage. He also has a range of 450, 5 knockbacks, and a cooldown of 124 seconds. Katsumi is a very simple Uber, dealing fast punches against red and alien enemies. Against these traits, he deals 112,000 damage against them. He does a solid job at what he does, but compared to every other Uber in the collab, his kit feels pretty lacking. The last Uber in the set we have is Jack Hanma, with 113,000 health, dealing 30,200 damage, 380 standing range with an Omni Strike of negative 480 to 480 range, 4 knockbacks, and a cooldown of 141.2 seconds. Jack has a 100% chance to weaken metal and zombie enemies for 5 seconds, or 6 seconds with treasures. He also has Zombie Killer and 18% Metal Killer. Jack is a solid weakener against these two traits, having nearly 100% uptime post treasures. His Zombie Killer ensures he can score a kill on zombies, and Metal Killer lets him be used as an additional offensive option on metal stages. Metal Killer is an ability that is inherently better against tankier metals like Super Metal Hippo and Sir Metal Seal, and the Metal Killer is strong enough to significantly reduce the crits needed. Making two aggressive traits easier to handle allows Jack to be a viable option against these enemies, and the Omni Strike allows Jack to strike zombies that burrow behind him. Ogre Catface is the super rare The Baki collab, who has 25,500 health and deals 12,750 damage, has a range of 350 with 2 knockbacks, and has a cooldown of 21.2 seconds. They also have a 50% chance to knock back and slow aliens for 3 seconds, or 3.6 seconds. They also have a 10% chance to deliver a savage blow. Ogre Cat is a really solid generalist backliner, who even when compared to other generalist super rares, Ogre is capable of standing toe-to-toe with them. Of course, they do fall behind eventually due to things like talent boosts and it being hard to get plus levels on them, but even then, Ogre is still extremely good generally. As an anti-alien specialist, his combination of knockback and slow is pretty solid, as they can easily keep aliens away, but it should be supplemented with Seafarer's stronger freeze. Overall, Ogre Cat is an extremely solid generalist super rare with solid anti-alien crowd control. Then we have a group of special units from this collab. First is Lowbaki, who is a login bonus. The main appeal of Lowbaki is his Metal Killer ability. However, the actual Metal Killer is only 5%. This low Metal Killer percentage doesn't allow Baki to deal all that much damage, only being somewhat useful for Metal Cyclone and 300% Sur Metal Seal, as the health of every other metal enemy is too low to make effective use of Metal Killer. Then we have 3 other special units, obtained from a gacha where you acquire legendary dumbbells to roll. The first unit is Baki Cat. They have 200 range with an Omni Strike of -50 to 250 and a 50% chance to knock back aliens. Their low range means they won't really work against most aliens, and their low base stats don't allow them to really be used outside of Into the Future. Then we have Kaio Cat, who deals massive damage against floating and black enemies. Against these traits, he deals 9,690 damage or 12,920 damage post treasures. While he is fast, his poor health stat and unusually long recharge time of 24.53 seconds make him pretty unusable outside of the early game due to stronger units being accessible. Last is Doppo Cat, who has 300 range with an LD of 200 to 375 and a 20% chance to freeze red enemies for 3 seconds or 3.6 seconds post treasures. A cooldown of 14.53 seconds doesn't really allow them to be all that stackable, and units like Witch Cat can perform crowd controlling much better in both situations, but they can still be used in the early game if you lack better options. This update sees the addition of one new true form, this being the true form for Illusionary Guardian Vega, Lady of Deception Vega. She gains a 30% boost to her health, a 33.33% damage boost, and Zombie Killer. These simple boosts allow Vega to become a lot better at what she does. Zombie Killer also allows her to be more usable against zombies, as now she can actually secure kills against them. For stats, Vega now has 88,000 base health and deals 27,200 damage. When factoring her abilities, her health against the various targets are as follows. Free treasure health against general enemies gives her 176,000 health, post treasures give her 221,000 health. Colossus enemies give her 126,000 health, pre-treasure Colossus health is at 252,000 health, and post-treasure Colossus health is at 315,000 health. With damage, specifically in the 230 to 381 range, where both hits land, pre-treasure damage is at 40,800, post-treasure damage is at 48,960 damage, Colossus enemies take 46,240 damage, pre-treasure Colossus damage deals 69,360 damage, and post-treasure Colossus damage deals 83,232 damage. Her damage is now on a similar level as Goddess of Light Sirius and has a good amount of health over her, as well as her weaken making her even tankier. This true form gives her a good boost to her generalist stats, making her a more defensive variant of Sirius. The cost of the true form is 2 purple, red, blue, green, and yellow cat fruits. This update sees the addition of one Ultra Form, this being Arcane Commissioner Gravici. This Ultra Form gives him a 28% boost in health, giving him 115,000 health, a second shorter force swing, longer backswing, a speed bump from 15 to 19, a wave that goes from level 3 to 5, as well as Sage Slayer and wave immunity. The health boost and longer backswing gives him better survivability. His faster force swing is also good, as his force swing is one of his biggest downsides, but it now being at 2.33 seconds, it allows him to land more hits consistently. His main thing, however, is Sage Slayer. This ability gives him meta relevance in the late game. Currently, Old Stritch is the only relevant Sage enemy that matches his 2 targets, but seeing as one of the most threatening Sage enemies, him being able to counter the bird is a solid bump to his use. His wave immunity is solid for his generalist use, but for his specific targets, Giga Haniwan and Mask Grandmaster are the only relevant wave enemies that match his targets. It can, however, in tandem with this Sage Slayer, allow him to be used against Dark Dober. Seeing as he gets Sage Slayer, his base Sage damage with Wave goes to 138,240 damage. Against Relic Sage allows him to deal 207,000 damage, and Zombie Sages take 248,000 damage. His health bumps to 230,000 base Sage HP, 460,000 HP against Sage Relics, and a solid 576,000 health against Sage and Zombie enemies. However, as is the case with all Ultra Forms, the cost of 15 Dark Cat's Eyes is rather expensive. This Ultra Form's value is dependent on how well you can counter Ultrich and how often you're using the Cheating Heart combo. If you use this combo a lot, then this Ultra Form can further boost Gravici's performance, but if you rarely use this combo, then you could easily pass on this Ultra Form. This Ultra Form costs 2 Purple Behemoth Gems and a Golden Catfruit Seed. One unit gains talents this update, this being for Divine Lilin. Lilin gains Freeze, Weaken Immunity, and Slow Resist on top of standard attack and defense buffs. Her Freeze is not that good. It has a 50% chance to activate, but only has a max duration of 2 seconds or 2.4 seconds against Angels. Even outside the 50% chance to freeze, her uptime is also pretty poor, with only 32% uptime against Aku or 38% against Angels. Low resist would allow her to not get as stun locked by Sunfish Jones, Tarsiriel, and Condemned Pang's Death Surge. However, the value gained out of it isn't worth the NP investment. Last is her Weakened Immunity. This is the only worthwhile talent for her outside of her stat talents. This allows Lilin to handle Mr. Angel and Miss Devil Swarms more easily and allow her to be much more viable against Wing Piggy and Chibanel. Slow Resist and Freeze are easy skips, but if you lack good counters for Wing Piggy, then Weakened Immunity is a solid investment. One unit gains Ultra Talents, this being for Immortal Kaiji. Kaiji gains Floating Targeting, a level 3 Wave, and Freeze Immunity. Kaiji is a unit whose kit allows him to be a very solid floating tank, as most floating enemies have short to mid range and pack a punch, such as Albro, Bunbun, and Muth variants. This targeting also gives another amazing counter to Adherence to Virtue, as Kaiji is capable of resisting both Soractis and Doge Dark. His Freeze Immunity supplements this, allowing continuous uninterrupted attacks. This Freeze Immunity, however, is the least important of his Ultra Talents, as it only gives him an advantage over I Am Face, Moth, and Professor Albroly. Last is his Wave. While the wave chance is only at 20%, on a unit with a solid damage output, especially post-strengthening talents gives him a very solid boost to his DPS, giving him an effective 34,000 DPS. If you lack any solid floating tanks, then these Ultra Talents may be worth looking into. Kaiji also provides an incredible unit to counter Adherence to Virtue, with waves helping boost his damage further, and Freeze Immunity giving him even more opportunities to attack Soractis. There are 8 brand new enemies added to this update, 5 of these being Baki collab enemies. All 5 of the Ubers also have enemy counterparts. The first is Baki Hanma, who has rapid Omni Strikes capable of knocking back units and has a rare chance to crit. He is also immune to slow and explosions. Next is Kaio Retsu, who has a 50% chance to freeze units for 3 seconds. The most simple of the Baki enemies is Katsumi Orochi, who simply has high range. Then we have Jack Hanma, with a pretty far-reaching Omni Strike that weakens units for 4 seconds. Last is Kaoru Hanayama, who has a slight Omni Strike and immunities to knockback, freeze, slow, and weaken. For the 12.5 anniversary event, a brand new Black Dutch variant is added, this being Perry Dutch, based on Matthew C. Perry, an American who initiated the Perry Expedition, which ended nearly 250 years of Japanese isolation in the 1850s. This variant trades attack speed for a slight Omni Strike and the ability to create explosions. Then we have 2 brand new enemies which have descriptions in the enemy guide, yet only appear in these anniversary stages. The first of these being Puffzerker, a red variant of Mr. Puffington who also weakens instead of curses. The second of these enemies is Commander Ostromata, an alien Auros variant with 290 range, outranging Seafarer by 20, and has a 15% chance to warp units for 6.67 seconds. The new Zero Legends subchapter added is the New Town Beach. The floating bus stop features Metal Doge, Sir Metal Seal, Kangaroo, Dober PD, Delphina, and Hna. The coral housing features Shibalion, Imperator Seal, Scissoroo, Saint Dober, Kid Tappa, and Red Energy. The renovated shipwreck features Dogenstein, Sir Seal, Dr. KO, Dark Dober, Shichiko, and Tekken Old Hyena. The Ink Museum features exhibits such as Shibalion Elite, Brawlo, Albrolo, Lemur, and Arost. The Kelp campsite has Relic Doge, Zolo, Albrolo, Loris, and Emost. Last is the Jetson Lookout, which features Zoj, Diabrolo, Professor Albroli, Tarsiriel, and Oldstrich. Then we have brand new anniversary stages, which feature the new anniversary enemies. The Black Ship's Arrival's final stage features Doge Dark, Director Kurosawa, Gory Black, Shadowboxer K, and Dark Otter. Next comes the Red Ship's Arrival with Pazurker. The final stage features JJ Jackrabbit, Sir Seal, Professor A, Toucan, and the titular Pazurker. The Blue Ship arrives with Ostromata. The last stage features Shibalian Elite, Star Pang, Corporal Wayland, Yukan, General Gogori, and the titular Ostromata. Last is the American's quest of Please Open the Country with Perry Dutch. The third stage features Berserker on top of other red and black enemies. The last stage features Ostromata. Other enemies present include Akudoge, General Gogori, and Condemned Pang. All of these stages go up to 2-star, and 2-star is 200% magnification, so things like 2400% Yukan and 5000% General Gogori now exist in this game. Bargain Battlefield is a new gauntlet map that gives you legendary baskets. These baskets can be rolled, and you can earn up to 5 regular cat tickets and a rare cat ticket. Other items featured include battle items, excluding treasure radars, and experience ranging from 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, 100,000, and 1 million. The final stage features Ginger Snatches, Devil Wives, Akugoris, Saint Piggy II, Arost, and the Sloth. On screen is the rate of the legendary baskets in every other stage. There is also another stage added called Customer Reward, which features Golden Doge and Gold Hippos. The reward is a one-time rare ticket. For the Baki collab, there is a new special unit gacha which drops legendary dumbbells. This event map has you facing the various Baki enemies. The final stage pits you against some Aku Doges, Devil Wives, and Baki Hanma. On screen is the rate for legendary dumbbells in every stage. Every stage guarantees some dumbbells upon first clear. Now for a huge chunk of the stages in the Baki collab, each enemy has their own gauntlet with 10 stages each. First is Hanayama's gauntlet. Stages 1 to 5 consist of Piggy, Jackie Pang, Gory, and Sir Seal. Stages 6 to 10 feature Doge Dark, Autosmack-You, Celeboodle, and Shadowboxer K. On screen are the rewards you can earn from Hanayama's gauntlet. Next is Katsumi's gauntlet. The first 5 stages consist of those guys, Baba, Gory, and Kangaroo. The later half contains Akudoge, Heavenly Hippo, and both Angelic and Akugoris. On screen are the rewards for Katsumi's gauntlet. Retsu is up next. The first 5 stages simply consist of Squirrel and BB Bunny. The latter half features Croco, Celeboodle, Dogshun, and Arost. On screen are the rewards for Retsu's gauntlet. Jock Hanma's gauntlet is up next. The first 5 stages contain Snake, Those Guys, and Hippo. The last 5 stages feature Doge Dark, Zoj, Snake, Zangru, and Dark Otter. On screen are the rewards for Jack's gauntlet. Last is Baki Hanma's gauntlet. The first 5 stages consist of Squirrel, Croco, and Hippo. The latter half contains Ginger Snake, Shibalian, Helmet Crab, and One Horn. On screen are the rewards for Baki's gauntlet. This gauntlet is notable for rewarding a Dark Cat's Eye at the end. This update sees the addition of 2 new Otherworld Coliseum maps. The first is a reuse challenge, this being only 1 rarity. Round 1 features Mr. Celeboodle, Mega Baba, Lenoir, and Cappy. Round 2 features Squirrel, Croco, Trolley Blogger, BB Bunny, Ms. Devil, Sorrel, and JJ Jackrabbit. Round 3 features Zoj, Doge Dark, Arian, Wild Doge, and Dark Joe. Clearing the stage on both 1-star and 2-star nets a rare ticket each in the missions tab. Round 4 features Relic Doge, Heavenly Hippo, Mr. Angel, Angelic Gory, Chick-fil-A, Honey Wan Wan, Autumn, and Old Horn. Round 5 features Ginger Snake, Albrolo, Saint Piggy II, Wild Doge, and Cumulus Gallus. Clearing the stage on 1-star grants 2 platinum shards, and on 2-star grants a Dark Cat's Eye through the missions tab. There is a new condition that was also added into this update, this being the Mega Cat Cannon condition. This condition boosts the damage of the regular Cat Cannon by 100 times, but it only affects the base Cat Cannon, so cannons like the Thunderbolt and Breaker Blast do not receive bonus damage. A 20+10 cannon with max treasures in this condition deals 455,000 damage to any non-wave immune enemy. Since cannon power combos are not banned, the max you can reach is a 100% attack boost with Like a Record Baby and Great Swords, achieving a damage output of 910,000 damage. Round 1 consists of Croxo, Gabriel, Razorback, Ursa Major, Calamaria, Moth, Angelic Gory, and General Gogori. Round 2 consists of Doge Dark, Pigeon Disable, Teacher and JK Bunbuns, Tacky, Toucan, Boar Jr., and Raging Gory. Round 3 consists of Metal Doge, Squirrel, Low Bunbun, Tarawa Hazuku, Metal Hippo, and Honey Wanwan. Clearing this stage on both 1-star and 2-star nets a rare ticket each in the missions tab. Round 4 is made up of Relic Doge, Sir Seal, JJ Jackrabbit, Raja Khan, Hacky, Loris, and Mr. Puffington. Round 5 is made up of Cerberus Kids, Muth, Sorrel, Magamojo, Akugori, Fallen Bear, Chick-fil-A, and Aki. Clearing the stage on 1-star grants 2 platinum shards, and on 2-star grants a dark cat's eye through the missions tab. Last is the Arena of Destiny, a brand new ranked dojo event. Unlike every other ranked dojo event, this dojo event grants an exclusive item called Mysterious Treasure Chests to obtain new talent orbs, but those will be covered more detail in the next section. This dojo has 2 major differences when compared to other dojos. The first is that enemies killed actually drop cash upon death. The second is that the base is passive, meaning it won't damage your units, but is still affected by surges and explosions. This dojo is also special, in that you can do bonus objectives to earn even more points during the 3 minutes you're given per round. The specific objective for this current dojo is weakening enemies. Units that are specialized in their targeting will receive full points, such as Sanzo and Seafarer, whereas generalist targeting units like Cyberpunk and Urarun would earn less points. The less targets they have, the more bonus points you get. Talents don't affect this penalty, so a can with alien targeting can get full points while having multiple targets. Now for the actual lineup of this dojo. This dojo consists of Croxos, Gabriels, Scissoroos, Calamarias, Bunbun Symbiotes, Sorrels, St. Dobers, Mr. Puffington, and Scissorex. This dojo also has a special unlock edition, as it's locked behind an ancient curse. For the first of these miscellaneous changes and additions, XP Stage and Weekend Stage, XP Mega Blitz, and XP Coliseum all receive changes that allow more XP to be earned when clearing each of these stages. XP Stage and Weekend Stage also had their energy costs reduced to make farming these stages more reliable. This update also sees the addition of the Capsule Clearance event, in which the gimmick is that 5 Jaws only cost 500 cat food. The Ubers featured in this set include Hallowindy, Spooky Thundia, Santaku, Frosty Kai, and Holy Coppermine. Last update, the talent sprite sheets had a bunch of placeholder spots. With them now filled in, we have 6 brand new talent orbs, these being Mini Death Surge, Cash Refund, Stories of Legend buff, Colossus Slayer, as well as Knockback and Wave Resist. The Mini Death Surge orb gives every second unit sent out a Mini Death Surge that spawns between 200 to 500 range from the unit's position upon death. This orb cannot be stacked. Cost return refunds every second unit a certain amount of cash upon death. At S rank, this is a 50% refund, effectively a 25% return on investment. Units that have 2 S rank cash refund orbs gain a full refund every second death. Stories of Legend buff boosts a unit's health and attack by a specific amount depending on the rank. S rank gives 50% health and attack boost. This orb only works in Stories of Legend stages, so this orb does nothing in Uncanny Legends, Zero Legends, or Event stages. Colossus Slayer gives every second unit sent out Colossus Slayer, with the boosts in health and attack depending on the rank. S rank gives full Colossus Slayer on every second unit sent out. This orb does not work on units who already have Colossus Slayer. Last are the Knockback and Wave Resist orbs. These orbs reduce the pushback or wave damage received when affected by the effect. S rank gives a 50% reduction on the effects of these two. These orbs are additive, so if an S rank orb is given to a unit who already has max resistance, they will effectively be given an immunity to the effect, unless your name is King Gamerion, in which case you only need an A rank for knockback immunity. Applying 2 S rank orbs also gives a unit full immunity due to the additive nature of these orbs. These orbs are obtained from the previously mentioned Arena of Destiny dojo from 3 tiers of chests, with each having better and better orbs. These chests are bronze, silver, and gold treasure chests. If you get an orb you don't want, you can reroll the chest with 30 cat food. Every unit who had ultra talents but only had 1 orb slot is now given an extra orb slot. This applies to Ice Crystal Cat, Immortal Shingen, God Emperor Megidora, God Emperor Raiden, Mission Control Mikako, Mad Dr. Clay, Almighty Zeus, and Mer Queen Ruri. You can now refill your gauntlet directly from the stage by clicking on the map icon when your gauntlet goes on cooldown. A 19th lineup has been added and can be unlocked after getting 120 Meow medals. There is a brand new soundtrack added for the Arena of Destiny. Here is a 15-second sample of the track, but you can find the full track in the description down below. One new cat combo has been added, this being Traffic Violation, with Mighty Sphinx Core, Cats in a Box, and Tricycle Cat. This is a resist medium combo. Last are the brand new user rank rewards. User rank 24,600 nets 3 Ammonite Z, 24,700 nets 5 Catamin A, and 24,800 nets 5 Catamin B. The Baki collab will be coming to the English version sometime this update. The Bikurumin content has not been found in the game files. A lot of this update has been related to the Baki stuff, but seeing as we already had some pretty massive updates for the last few, a smaller update was expected. Besides Baki, the biggest thing is easily the new talent orbs, which definitely will shake up the meta, but I want to know what you guys think of this update. Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video, as this lets me know that this is the sort of content I should continue to make. Also, shout out to the following channel members: Dr. Deadly, Potato King, Gross Cat the Best, Barely Grover, Ian Dean, Mega Mix, Joseph Shark, Uberless, Iribarel, and Elijah Lopez for being silver members or higher. If you want to receive a shout out like these channel members here, then become a silver member or higher today. Becoming a channel member supports what I do in a way that helps keep the lights on, and channel members receive an exclusive role in my Discord server, for which you can find a link to in the description down below. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day.